Hi everybody, it's Sean here, and we're in Bali right now, staying at a house, and we found this little beauty right here. Kind of looks like a slow cooker, but it's actually a rice cooker. Let's check out how it works. That's good, and that was actually really fast to make. I can honestly say that I had no real idea how rice made its way from the field to our tables. So we thought actually we'd do a little research and make a little video about it when we were here in Bali. So we visited some rice fields around Ubid, and we also took a trip out to the UNESCO World Heritage site in northern Bali to visit some rice terraces. Let's go. So right now we're actually just outside of our villa or apartment that we've rented here in Ubud. We're actually in the middle of the town, and you can see that there's rice fields right behind us and all around us actually. So right beside us here, this is a freshly planted field. This was planted a couple of days ago, and when we arrived here a few weeks ago, the fields didn't look like this at all. In fact, they were completely covered in long grass and weeds, and what the farmers had to do is spend a lot of time actually tilling the ground. Then they had to flood and saturate this field or patio or whatever you want to call it to get it ready for planting. Well, let's just take a look here. We'll take the camera in a little closer. You can see these little rice plants. They're like seedlings or trees that you would get in a nursery back in North America. They don't actually plant from seed. They actually plant seedlings. So these here, this field here, this is probably 2, maybe 3 months away from being ready for harvest. But let's go check out a place right now where the rice is a little more developed. So here we are, we're down in a different little rice paddy. This rice here is just getting about ready to harvest. You can see it's starting to turn yellow. And all of the rice, the little grains of rice are actually inside here. And it's a lot of work to actually get it from field to your table. So to get a better look at what it really looks like, because as I mentioned, we're in the middle of the town of Ubud here right now. We're gonna go right now out to the rice paddies at a UNESCO World Heritage site up in northern Bali. So I'm actually not at the UNESCO site, and that's because we didn't decide to make this video until after we visited and found out how amazing it was. You know, I wanted to start by saying we learned a few things about growing rice through this process. The first thing we learned is just how manual the process is. It's very labor intensive. The other thing we learned though is just how important water is in this entire process. The Jatilui UNESCO site is actually the perfect location for growing rice because of the abundance of water that flows down from the mountains. And water is actually absolutely critical in the process because early on, when you plant rice, the fields are absolutely saturated, and probably they're saturated for the first couple of months. And at a certain point, when the rice comes out in seed, the farmers slow the flow of water and eventually cut it off so that the rice will dry out just before harvest. And as you can imagine, the ability to control the flow of water is critical in this whole process. And it's really impressive what the farmers can do. When it rains, for example, they have to make sure that the water flows quickly enough, because if too much water builds up in one rice terrace, the side can actually blow out and it can cause a bit of a mini landslide, destroying the crops in that particular area and below down the hill. The other thing we noticed at this UNESCO site is just how beautiful the rice terraces are. The different shades of green, how lush and just full of life the entire place is. And when you look at it from above, what you can see it's almost hypnotic, the patterns. And I just want to leave you with a bit of footage that we took out here just to get an appreciation for the scope and scale of the place and how beautiful it is. So I'm still working on the same bowl of rice. I hope you enjoyed that video and actually learned something maybe about how rice is produced and makes its way to our tables. So until next time, we'll see you later. That's good and that's fast. Nope, start over. Terraces around here in Ubud and also at Titilawi. That's good. And that was really fast.